Today, I'm going to share with you the three simple yet powerful rules that transform my life. These rules, deeply rooted in science and personal experience, are the foundation for anyone who wants to create a life of unlimited potential. Change always starts in the mind, but most people are unaware of just how profound and powerful the mind can be when properly harnessed. Our thoughts shape our perception of the world, how we react to events, and even the reality we experience. It is often said that you are what you think, and this statement holds an immense amount of truth. The thoughts that you entertain daily create the foundation for the life you live. If you are thinking negatively, you are priming yourself for a life full of limitations. Conversely, if you shift your focus toward empowering thoughts, you begin to open the doors to possibilities, growth, and profound change. The mind is not just a passive observer, but an active creator. Each thought we have sends signals throughout our brain and body, affecting our chemistry, our emotions, and ultimately the actions we take. Neuroscientists have discovered that our brains are constantly rewiring themselves based on the thoughts we focus on, a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. This means that we have the power to reshape our brains and create new patterns of thinking. In essence, we are not prisoners of our past thoughts or behaviors, we are the architects of our future by choosing the thoughts that shape it. Every time you think, you are activating a network of neurons in your brain. The more often you think a certain thought, the stronger and more efficient that network becomes. This creates a kind of habit where you automatically default to certain thoughts without even realizing it. These habitual thoughts form the mental landscape you experience daily. If those thoughts are mostly negative, you are programming yourself to experience a reality filled with challenges, self doubt, and limitations. However, when you consciously choose thoughts that are positive, affirming, and expansive, you start to rewire your brain toward new opportunities, better habits, and a more fulfilling life. The key is awareness. Most of us go through life without fully understanding the impact of our thoughts. We get so caught up in the busyness of daily living that we forget to examine the mental patterns we are reinforcing. The first step in changing your life is to take a step back and observe your thoughts. Ask yourself, what are the recurring thoughts I have? Are they positive or negative? Do they support my goals or keep me stuck in the same place? Once you gain awareness, you can begin the process of shifting your mindset. Instead of allowing your thoughts to dictate your reality, you take control of your mind. This doesn't mean that you will never experience negative or challenging thoughts again, but it does mean that you no longer have to be ruled by them. You can interrupt a negative thought pattern and replace it with one that serves you. This requires practice and persistence. It's about building new mental habits that align with the life you want to create. The more you practice positive thinking and visualization, the more your brain begins to believe in the possibilities you are creating. This is where the concept of the placebo effect comes into play. Research has shown that when people believe in something, whether it's a treatment, a possibility, or an outcome, there is a real physiological change that occurs in their bodies. The mind, when focused on a positive outcome, has the ability to influence physical reality. This is the power of belief, and it all starts with the thoughts we choose to entertain. Furthermore, your thoughts not only influence your internal state, but also the external circumstances of your life. The law of attraction, a principle that has gained significant popularity, operates on the idea that like attracts like. When you focus on positive, empowering thoughts, you begin to attract similar energy into your life. Opportunities, people, and experiences that align with your new mindset begin to show up, almost as if the universe is conspiring to support your growth. It is not magic, it is the natural result of the energy you put out into the world through your thoughts. The act of consciously changing your thoughts also requires taking responsibility for your emotions. Your emotions are a direct reflection of your thoughts. If you think negative or limiting thoughts, your emotions will follow suit and you will feel stuck, anxious, or fearful. On the other hand, if you choose to think thoughts that are positive and expansive, your emotions will shift accordingly and you will feel more confident, empowered, and aligned with your highest self. This feedback loop between thoughts and emotions is a critical aspect of personal transformation. By changing your thoughts, you change how you feel. And by changing how you feel, you change the actions you take and the results you experience. In practical terms, this means taking the time each day to monitor your thoughts. Meditation, mindfulness, and affirmations are powerful tools that can help you begin to retrain your brain. By creating moments of stillness and reflection, you can observe the thoughts that arise without judgment and consciously choose the ones that serve your highest good. This is where transformation begins, in the space between your thoughts, where you have the power to choose. Understanding that change begins in the mind is the first step toward creating a life of fulfillment, abundance, and joy. Your mind is a tool, and when you learn how to use it properly, you unlock the ability to transform every area of your life. Every thought you have is a building block for your future. Make those thoughts count and watch as your life shifts into alignment with the dreams and goals you've always desired. Thoughts create emotions, and emotions create reality. This simple but profound truth reveals a powerful sequence that dictates how we experience life. The thoughts we think don't just float aimlessly in our minds, they carry with them energy that has a direct influence on our emotions, and those emotions, in turn, shape the reality we live in. Understanding this dynamic is key to creating meaningful change in our lives. Every thought we have sends signals to the brain, which then triggers a corresponding emotional response. These emotions are not just fleeting feelings, they are deeply embedded in our biology. The brain releases chemicals into our body based on the nature of the thoughts we think, and these chemicals influence everything from our mood to our physical health. For example, if you think negative thoughts about yourself or your situation, your brain will release stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, putting your body in a state of fight or flight. This creates feelings of anxiety, fear, or frustration, and over time, these emotions can impact your physical health, making you more susceptible to illness or exhaustion. On the other hand, when you think positive, empowering thoughts, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. These are known as feel good chemicals that elevate your mood, create a sense of well being, and improve your physical health. This biochemical response is not just a pleasant feeling, it is the foundation of a positive emotional state that can propel you towards success, fulfillment, and a deeper sense of happiness. The emotions generated by your thoughts are the emotional fuel that drives your actions. When you feel good, you are more likely to take actions that align with your desires, and this in turn creates a reality that matches your emotions. However, the opposite is also true. When negative emotions dominate, you are more likely to make decisions based on fear, doubt, and scarcity. These decisions may seem rational in the moment, but they often lead to outcomes that reinforce the very emotional state you are trying to escape. It becomes a vicious cycle where negative thoughts lead to negative emotions, which lead to negative actions, and ultimately a negative reality. This is why it is so important to break the cycle early by changing the thoughts that trigger these emotional responses. The connection between thoughts and emotions is not just a theoretical idea, it has been scientifically proven. Research in the field of neuroscience and psychology has shown that our brains are hardwired to respond to our thoughts and emotions. When we repeatedly think the same thoughts, our brains begin to form neural pathways that reinforce those patterns. These pathways can be difficult to change, especially if they have been ingrained over years of habitual thinking. But the good news is that we can rewire our brains. By consciously choosing to think different thoughts, we can create new neural pathways that support a healthier emotional response and ultimately a new reality. The key to shifting your reality is to become aware of your emotions and trace them back to the thoughts that created them. When you find yourself feeling anxious, stressed, or unhappy, take a moment to pause and reflect on the thoughts that triggered these feelings. Often, we are not even aware of the underlying thoughts because they have become automatic. But by practicing mindfulness and self awareness, you can begin to catch these thoughts before they spiral into negative emotions. Once you identify the negative thought, you can challenge its validity. Ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Is it based on facts, or is it a belief I've been carrying around for years? If the thought is not serving your growth, it's time to replace it with one that does. This process may feel awkward at first, but with practice, you'll begin to retrain your brain. Over time, you will create new emotional responses that align with the new thought patterns you're developing. Emotions are also a reflection of our beliefs, and beliefs are shaped by the thoughts we think repeatedly. If you have a deep seated belief that you are not worthy of success, for example, your thoughts will likely reinforce that belief, leading to feelings of insecurity or inadequacy. These emotions will then guide your actions or lack thereof, leading you to avoid opportunities or to settle for less than what you truly desire. The reality you create in this scenario is a direct result of the beliefs and emotions you've allowed to dominate your mind. But when you consciously shift your thoughts, your beliefs start to change, and this creates new emotions that align with the reality you want to create. For instance, if you replace the thought, I'm not good enough, with, I am worthy of success, you will start to feel more confident and capable. These positive emotions will drive you to take actions that align with your new beliefs, ultimately leading to a reality where success becomes a natural outcome. Understanding that thoughts create emotions and emotions create reality puts you in the driver's seat of your life. When you can control your thoughts and emotions, you have the power to shape your external circumstances. Your reality is not fixed, it is malleable and can be transformed through the thoughts you choose to think. The emotional state you cultivate within yourself is the lens through which you perceive the world, and by changing that emotional state, you change the way you see everything. The people, situations, and opportunities that once seemed out of reach now appear within your grasp, all because you have learned to control the thoughts and emotions that shape your experience. The power of the present moment is where transformation happens. This statement underscores the importance of being fully present in the here and now rather than being distracted by past regrets, or future anxieties. Most people spend a significant portion of their lives living in their minds, replaying old memories or worrying about what might happen. These mental patterns keep them stuck, preventing real change from taking place. But the present moment holds the key to personal transformation, and once we learn to embrace it, we unlock the potential to create lasting change in our lives. Being present means tuning into the current moment with all of our senses, letting go of the mental chatter that often dominates our thoughts. It requires us to detach from the constant flow of thoughts about the past or the future and to simply experience life as it unfolds. This is easier said than done, as our minds are conditioned to jump from one thought to the next, often without conscious effort. However, when we practice being present, we train ourselves to focus on what is happening right now, and in doing so, we can begin to access the profound power of the present moment. When we are fully present, we are not weighed down by the baggage of the past. We are no longer held hostage by our previous mistakes, regrets, or painful experiences. So many people carry the weight of their past with them, letting it define who they are and what they believe is possible for their future. They allow past failures or traumatic events to shape their identity, constantly revisiting old memories and reliving the emotions associated with them. This focus on the past keeps them trapped in a cycle of negativity and self limitation, unable to break free from the constraints of their own history. But the truth is that the past is gone and it has no power over us unless we allow it to. The only thing that truly exists is the present moment. By choosing to let go of past stories and perceptions, we open ourselves up to the infinite possibilities of the here and now. This doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring the past, but rather releasing its grip on our present reality. We can acknowledge the lessons we've learned, but we don't have to carry the emotional baggage that comes with those experiences. The present moment gives us the opportunity to start anew, to redefine who we are, and to create a future that is no longer dictated by the past. The present moment also frees us from the constant worry about the future. So often we project our fears and uncertainties onto the unknown, imagining worst case scenarios that rarely come to fruition. This fear of the future can paralyze us, preventing us from taking action or making decisions. We may spend days, weeks, or even years caught in a cycle of anxiety about what might happen, all the while missing the opportunities that exist right in front of us. But when we focus on the present moment, we realize that the future is not something we can control or predict. The only thing we can truly control is what we do right now in this moment. Living in the present doesn't mean being passive or ignoring the need for planning or preparation. It simply means that we stop overthinking and worrying about things that are outside of our control. It's about taking intentional action in the present rather than letting fear or doubt hold us back. When we are fully present, we are more likely to take bold, aligned action that moves us toward our goals. We stop procrastinating and start taking the steps necessary to create the life we want. The present moment is where we can access our true power and creativity. When we are not bogged down by distractions, we can connect with our inner wisdom, intuition, and insight. In the present moment, we are fully available to ourselves and the world around us. This state of presence allows us to see opportunities that we might have otherwise missed, to recognize patterns and solutions that were previously hidden, and to take inspired action that leads to transformation. When we're focused on the present, we can tap into a higher level of awareness that guides us toward the next step in our journey. By practicing mindfulness and meditation, we can train ourselves to remain present, even in the midst of challenges or difficult emotions. These practices help us to slow down and ground ourselves in the present moment, cultivating a sense of inner peace and clarity. Meditation, in particular, allows us to quiet the noise of the mind, enabling us to experience life from a place of stillness and awareness. This stillness is where true transformation occurs, as it allows us to connect with our higher self and the unlimited potential that exists within us. When we learn to live in the present, we also develop a greater sense of gratitude. Being present means fully experiencing each moment rather than rushing through life in a constant state of urgency. When we stop to appreciate the simple things in life, the beauty of nature, the people we love, the small victories of each day, we create a deep sense of fulfillment and joy. This gratitude further fuels our positive emotions and reinforces the cycle of transformation, helping us to attract more of what we want into our lives. The present moment is a powerful catalyst for change. When we choose to focus on what is happening now, we release ourselves from the constraints of the past and the fears of the future. We reclaim our power to create the life we desire. By staying present, we begin to experience life in its fullest expression. And this presence becomes the foundation for personal growth and lasting transformation. The more we practice being present, the more we align ourselves with the flow of life, and the more we begin to witness the unfolding of our highest potential. The unknown is the gateway to growth. Many of us are conditioned to fear uncertainty. The unknown represents a space where things are not clearly defined, where the future is unpredictable, and where we may not feel in control. This fear of the unknown often leads us to stay in situations, careers, relationships, or habits that are comfortable, even if they no longer serve our growth. We cling to what is familiar because it provides a sense of security, but in doing so, we limit our potential and miss out on the opportunities that lie just beyond the boundaries of our comfort zones. In reality, the unknown is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It is in the unknown that all of our greatest opportunities for growth and transformation exist. When we step into uncertainty, we break free from the mental and emotional constraints that have been holding us back. The unknown is where new possibilities are born, where innovation and creativity arise, and where we experience the full depth of life. It's only by stepping into the unknown that we can begin to expand beyond the limits of what we already know, both intellectually and spiritually. One of the key reasons we fear the unknown is because it challenges our sense of control. We want to know what will happen next, to have a clear path forward, and to feel confident that everything will work out according to plan. But life doesn't work in such predictable ways. It's filled with twists, turns, and unexpected events that we cannot foresee. When we become overly focused on trying to control every aspect of our lives, we block the flow of the natural process of growth. In contrast, when we release the need for control and allow ourselves to step into the unknown, we open up to new experiences and the possibility of something greater. Growth happens in moments of uncertainty, when we are willing to surrender our preconceived notions and be open to whatever comes our way. The unknown offers the freedom to reinvent ourselves, to redefine our goals, and to explore new aspects of who we are and what we are capable of achieving. The unknown also offers us the chance to discover new strengths and abilities within ourselves. We often underestimate our own resilience and adaptability. We may think that we cannot handle challenges or that we are not capable of navigating difficult situations, but the truth is that we are often far more capable than we realize. When we step into the unknown, we are forced to stretch beyond our comfort zones, which is where we grow. It's in those moments of uncertainty that we tap into inner resources we didn't even know we had. We discover the depth of our creativity, our courage, and our capacity for growth, all of which are unlocked when we are willing to embrace the unknown. Stepping into the unknown requires a mindset shift. It's about learning to see uncertainty as a space of opportunity rather than a threat. Instead of asking, what if something goes wrong, we start to ask, what if this leads to something better than I ever imagined? By changing our perspective on uncertainty, we begin to reframe it as a positive force for growth rather than something to be feared. It's not about being reckless or acting without caution, but rather about being willing to take the necessary risks to move beyond the familiar. Fear often arises because we have been conditioned to believe that the unknown holds danger. This belief is deeply ingrained in our biology. Our brains are wired to seek safety and avoid threats. However, in today's world, most of the risks we face are not life threatening. Instead, they are emotional or psychological risks, such as the fear of failure, rejection, or making mistakes. These are normal parts of the growth process. When we are willing to confront these fears and take action anyway, we expand our capacity to face challenges with resilience and strength. The more we embrace the unknown, the more we train ourselves to handle uncertainty with confidence and grace. The unknown is also a place where transformation occurs on a deep level. In the comfort of the familiar, there is little room for significant change. We tend to repeat the same patterns and habits even when they no longer serve us. But when we step into the unknown, we are forced to break free from those patterns and face the unknown parts of ourselves. This can be uncomfortable, even painful, but it is the discomfort that catalyzes true transformation. It is only by moving through periods of uncertainty that we can grow, evolve, and become the person we are meant to be. Every major breakthrough, whether personal, professional, or creative, occurs when we step into the unknown. Every innovation, every act of courage, and every leap of faith is rooted in the willingness to move beyond what we already know. Those who are willing to venture into uncharted territory are the ones who create new possibilities, both for themselves and for the world. By embracing the unknown, we step into the realm of infinite possibility, where everything is open for exploration and transformation. When we view the unknown as a source of possibility rather than a source of fear, we shift our mindset from one of limitation to one of abundance. We stop seeing uncertainty as something to avoid and instead recognize it as a space where miracles, new experiences, and new opportunities await. The unknown is where our greatest potential lies, waiting for us to take the leap and embrace the adventure of life with all of its challenges and rewards. The journey into the unknown is the journey of growth, and by stepping into it, we unlock the potential for extraordinary transformation. You must let go of past patterns to create new possibilities. The patterns we hold on to from our past, whether they are behaviors, beliefs, or emotional reactions, often shape the lives we live in ways we don't even realize. These ingrained patterns can feel like an invisible force, constantly steering our actions and responses, even when they no longer serve our growth. Holding on to past patterns is like wearing blinders. We are unable to see the full scope of what is possible for our future. To create a different reality, we must learn to let go of these limiting patterns and open ourselves to the new possibilities that life has to offer. Our past experiences have a profound impact on the way we see the world. From a young age, we begin to form beliefs about ourselves, others, and the world around us. These beliefs are based on the experiences we have had, especially those that are emotionally charged or traumatic. Over time, these beliefs become ingrained in our subconscious mind, and they influence the choices we make, the relationships we form, and the opportunities we seek or fail to seek. Often, these patterns are so deeply embedded that we aren't even aware of how they are shaping our lives. We may think we are making conscious decisions, but much of our behavior is influenced by past conditioning. Letting go of these past patterns is not about forgetting or invalidating the experiences that have shaped us. It's about recognizing that we no longer need to hold on to the emotional charge or limiting beliefs that came with those experiences. The past does not have to dictate our future. In fact, continuing to hold on to old patterns often prevents us from moving forward and creating the life we truly desire. If we don't consciously release the patterns that no longer serve us, we risk repeating the same mistakes, sabotaging our potential, and remaining stuck in a cycle of limitation. One of the most challenging aspects of letting go of past patterns is the discomfort that comes with change. We often feel safer sticking with what we know, even if it's not ideal, because the unfamiliar is unsettling. The human brain is wired for survival, and when we step into unknown territory, especially when it requires us to change deeply ingrained habits or beliefs, the brain perceives it as a threat. This discomfort, however, is a sign of growth. It's a signal that we are moving beyond the boundaries of our old self and creating space for a new version of ourselves to emerge. In this sense, the discomfort of change is not something to avoid, but something to embrace as part of the transformation process. The process of letting go requires a level of self awareness. We must first become conscious of the patterns that are keeping us stuck. This can be difficult because, as mentioned, these patterns are often unconscious and automatic. The first step is to begin observing our thoughts, behaviors, and emotional responses. When we react to a situation, we can ask ourselves, why did I respond that way? Is this reaction based on something from my past, or is it aligned with who I am today? It's in these moments of reflection that we can begin to identify the old patterns that need to be released. This awareness gives us the power to choose a different response and break free from the cycle of reactivity. Letting go of old patterns also involves releasing the identities we've attached to ourselves. Many of us hold on to a story about who we are based on our past experiences. We might say things like, I've always been this way, or I can't change because of what happened to me. These statements reinforce the belief that we are defined by our past and incapable of evolving. But the truth is, our past does not define us unless we allow it to. We are constantly evolving, and the person we were yesterday does not have to be the person we are today. Letting go of these old identities is a powerful way to create new possibilities. It requires us to step into the unknown and embrace the possibility that we can be different, that we can be different, that we can change, and that we have the ability to create a new future for ourselves. Another key aspect of letting go of past patterns is forgiveness. Often, the patterns that limit us are tied to unresolved emotions from past experiences, particularly those involving hurt, betrayal, or loss. Holding onto grudges or resentment can weigh us down and prevent us from moving forward. Forgiveness is not about condoning or excusing the actions of others, but about freeing ourselves from the emotional hold of the past. When we forgive, we release the grip that past pain has on our lives and make space for healing and new growth. This act of forgiveness is as much for ourselves as it is for others, as it allows us to let go of the emotional baggage that keeps us anchored in the past. Letting go also means being willing to release our attachment to outcomes. So often, we hold on to specific expectations about how things should unfold based on our past experiences or our desires for the future. When things don't go according to plan, we can become frustrated or disappointed, believing that we have somehow failed. But true transformation happens when we release our attachment to a specific outcome and trust that life will unfold as it is meant to. This doesn't mean we stop taking action or setting goals, but rather that we approach the process with an open mind and a willingness to adapt. When we let go of rigid expectations, we become more open to the unexpected opportunities that arise along the way. As we let go of past patterns, we begin to create space for new possibilities. The process of releasing old beliefs, behaviors, and identities opens up a world of potential that we may have previously overlooked. New opportunities, relationships, and experiences start to flow into our lives, and we find that we are capable of achieving things we once thought impossible. By letting go of what no longer serves us, we make room for growth, expansion, and transformation. The key to creating a new life is not about adding more to what we already have, but about shedding the old to make way for the new. When we release the past, we open ourselves up to the fullness of who we are meant to be. To create lasting change, you must elevate your energy. Energy is the fundamental force that drives everything in our lives. It is the invisible current that flows through us and the world around us, influencing how we feel, think, and act. The energy we carry with us affects every aspect of our reality, our relationships, our health, our work, and our ability to manifest our desires. The idea of elevating your energy is not just about feeling better in the moment, it's about shifting your internal state to align with the reality you want to create. By learning how to elevate your energy, you begin to step into a higher vibration that attracts new opportunities and allows you to break free from the limitations of your current state. Our energy is influenced by the thoughts we think, the emotions we feel, and the actions we take. Every thought carries with it a certain frequency. And when we think positive, empowering thoughts, our energy vibrates at a higher frequency. Conversely, negative thoughts and limiting beliefs lower our energy and create a stagnant, heavy feeling. This lower energy creates a feedback loop where negative emotions reinforce negative thoughts, and we are left feeling drained, stuck, and disconnected from our true potential. To elevate your energy, you must first become aware of the thoughts and emotions that are draining you and choose to shift them to a higher, more positive frequency. One of the most powerful ways to elevate your energy is through mindfulness and meditation. When we take time to quiet the mind, we begin to break the cycle of constant mental chatter that drains our energy. Meditation allows us to connect with a deeper level of awareness, a place beyond our thoughts and emotions. This stillness creates space for us to tap into our higher self and the universal energy that flows through all of us. In this state, we can begin to release the negative thought patterns that have been holding us back and replace them with thoughts that align with our desired reality. As we do this, our energy begins to shift and we begin to feel lighter, more expansive, and more aligned with our purpose. Our emotional state also plays a crucial role in the energy we carry. Emotions are the language of the body, and they are a direct reflection of the energy we are vibrating at. When we are filled with emotions such as fear, anger, or sadness, our energy vibrates at a lower frequency, and we attract more of the same into our lives. On the other hand, when we experience emotions like joy, gratitude, and love, our energy rises and we begin to attract positive people, situations, and opportunities. This is why it is so important to cultivate emotional awareness and consciously choose to elevate our emotional state. It's not about denying negative emotions, but rather about acknowledging them, processing them, and choosing to move toward higher vibrational emotions. One of the most effective tools for elevating energy is gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrational emotions, and when we focus on what we are grateful for, we raise our energy to a new level. Gratitude shifts our focus from what is lacking to what is abundant, and it helps us to align with the energy of abundance. When we practice gratitude regularly, we begin to reprogram our minds to notice the positive aspects of our lives, no matter how small they may seem. This shift in perspective not only makes us feel better, but it also attracts more of what we are grateful for into our lives. In addition to our thoughts and emotions, our physical body also plays a significant role in our energy levels. The foods we eat, the way we move, and the amount of rest we get all affect our energy. When we nourish our bodies with healthy foods, engage in regular physical activity, and ensure we are getting enough sleep, we elevate our energy and create a foundation for lasting change. Physical movement, in particular, is an excellent way to raise your energy levels. Exercise stimulates the release of endorphins, which are the body's natural mood elevators, and it helps to release any stagnant energy that may be holding us back. When we take care of our bodies, we are better able to manage stress, think clearly, and show up with the energy required to pursue our goals. It's also important to recognize that the energy we surround ourselves with plays a significant role in shaping our own energy. The people we interact with, the environments we spend time in, and the media we consume all influence the energy we carry. If we surround ourselves with people who are negative or draining, our energy can quickly become depleted. Conversely, being around people who uplift and inspire us can elevate our energy and motivate us to continue moving forward. Similarly, the environments we spend time in, whether they are chaotic or peaceful, can impact our internal energy. Creating an environment that supports our growth, whether it's a clean and organized home, a calm and inspiring workspace, or nature filled surroundings, can help us maintain a high vibrational energy. Energy is also influenced by our sense of purpose and alignment with our higher self. When we are clear about our goals and values, and when we take action that is in alignment with our true desires, our energy naturally rises. On the other hand, when we are disconnected from our purpose or feel like we are living someone else's dream, our energy can become stagnant and we may feel drained or uninspired. Finding what truly excites and motivates us and then taking consistent action towards that vision can elevate our energy to new heights. The more we practice elevating our energy, the more we begin to attract the circumstances, people, and opportunities that align with our higher vibrational state. As we shift our energy, we create a ripple effect in the world around us, and we begin to see our reality shift in response. This is the law of attraction in action like attracts like. When we raise our energy, we begin to attract what we want into our lives, whether it's more abundance, better health, or fulfilling relationships.